Hi everyone, welcome back to Good or Good Enough. So I finally saw the film The Amateur, and here is my little review. What happened in The Amateur? When his supervisors at the CIA refuse to take action after his wife is killed in a London terrorist attack, a decoder takes matters into his own hands. Quick summary for this film is it's 2 hours, 2 minutes, 6.5 stars, PG-13. Some scenes technically could have been more violent, but I guess they weren't, maybe. I don't know why. Too long for this type of film, in my opinion. It is very simple. It's an isolated story. No large world consequences like a Marvel film. This is definitely like an isolated sort of incident. It is a revenge film. Small to the world, but big to Charlie Heller. Rami Malek, Lawrence Fishburne, Rachel Brosnahan, Lois Lane. John Bernthal, the Punisher, they're all in it. It's pretty cool. John Bernthal doesn't have any like huge scenes in it. He must have just been walking past the studio, maybe. $60 million budget, gross 96 so far. At the theater, I guess. Sad story, his wife dies, he wants revenge. He basically blackmails his superiors into training him to be able to go after his wife. So he does have some training, but he's already pretty smart in a way. But he doesn't do anything that's unbelievable, though. Not many twists. I kept expecting the girl to be alive at the end. It's not one of those types of stories. It's pretty straightforward. It's more of like the character himself, I would say. There are some little twists, though, that he does, you know, throughout the film, which are pretty cool at times. Normal camera work, not too crazy, not experimental filmmaking or anything like that. This might be a remake of the 1981 The Amateur, directed by Charles Jarrott, written by Robert Luttrell and Diana Maddox, starring John Savage, Christopher Plummer, and Martha Keller. It is a remake of that. I don't know anything about the first movie, I've never seen it. And now we'll get into spoilers. So at the beginning, Heller is informed that his wife has died in a foreign incident, and she was there, so they ended up taking her hostage, and they shot her outside. This is the footage right here where it happens. Pretty sad. The movie is definitely good in that way because, I mean, very sad. One of the main plot lines is at the beginning, he does find out that they're funding the black ops that killed his wife, and he threatens to release all the files that he's found. Yeah, see, here he goes into the director's office and talks to Moore and Caleb and tells them, hey, you guys have been funding this thing, whatever. And they think, and he's going to release all the files unless they put him through the training. And it's throughout the movie, they keep trying to figure out if what files he has, if they're encrypted on CD. See here, he finds the disc or whatever that it's on. And then he gets the information, which just turns out later that he does release it. He did have it the whole time. This is pretty cool too because Heller ends up listening to them on a listen device, but then they listen to him, and then over here he gets a feeling that something, like maybe there's a like electronic device or something. And he finds a listening device. And he finds out that they find out Heller is actually listening to them the whole time. Pretty cool, pretty smart. And he talks to him real quick. So basically he's listening in on them, and they find out that he doesn't have the files to release. So then he basically goes to France, and they follow him there. And he goes around finding some people, trying and basically tortures them and ends up killing them, but getting information from them in the process. There's another person he threatens to kill to get information about who killed his wife. It's a pretty brutal scene. There's also this Lawrence Fishburne character who plays Henderson. This is the scene where he gets shot in this scene though. He gets shot and he kills the other guy. And then it looks like he dies, but he trained Heller and then found out about him and had to go after him. See, this part is where he supposedly dies. I said, he's probably going to be alive. He has to be. But it looked pretty dead there, so definitely keeps you guessing. And he does this thing again with somebody else to get information out of him. He makes him open a crate, or he talks to him first, whatever, and then tells him to open the crate, and he sets off an IED. So he does this multiple times throughout the movie, which is brought up at the end. So after all that, we get to the final end, sort of, He's been tracking some guy, getting closer to finding the people who are really behind all of it. They get the upper hand and they actually knock him out. They take him to a yacht out in the middle of nowhere, and they take him inside. There's a guy, I guess, who's behind all of it. They take him inside here, has some bomb thing, whatever. And then they talk back and forth. And this is the big finale scene where you think he's going to get his revenge. It's pretty good because, I mean, it is pretty emotional stuff. Like, it is pretty sad, though, that all this has happened. And they basically, he sits him down to have a talk. His acting is weird. I'm not too familiar with Rami Malek, by the way. I didn't see him in the Queen movie. He plays Freddie Mercury. It's pretty good, apparently. So they go back and forth, and then he basically lectures him that Heller is not really a killer. He's only doing this for revenge. No real reason to do any of it. So they go back and forth, talking some more. The guy ends up handing him a gun, testing him. Not really testing him, but just kind of proving to him that he's not really a killer. His morals are too good to go against. And again, it's that argument of, should you get revenge? You're a killer too. If they killed someone and you kill them, now you're a killer. What makes you so different? It definitely questions that in this film. And then it keeps going, and then he actually decides not to, which is pretty good, I guess. It's very sad, of course you want him to. This guy deserves it. And then now it's revealed that the boat or the yacht is being controlled in some way, that Heller is behind. Then the guy goes over and finds out what's going on, and that's when Heller reveals his plan and tells him, I've been taking over the boat with some device or whatever, and I've driven the boat to Finnish waters where this guy can legally get arrested. So then he basically, all that stuff he was doing was also to buy time so that the guards and everybody can show up and arrest him. So then this happens. He doesn't know what to do. They come in and they get him, and Interpol is there as well. And he goes out, and that's pretty much it. The music's pretty nice and good. It's pretty emotional and sad. I mean, he kind of got what he wanted, but not entirely, of course. And then, yeah, it ends like that. The final part, though, is that the director, O'Brien, she ends up outing everyone. See, at the end, Director O'Brien gives a speech to the press, and it looks like Heller's supposed bluff about releasing the documents that implicate Moore and Caleb was real. It actually was real, I guess. So they all got arrested, or he says it was a whistleblower. So he basically told them, hey, this stuff's going on. They're funding black ops, things, all that, and people are dying, and they're behind all the murders in Europe recently. And then at the end is Lawrence Fishburne's character, Henderson, did survive, which is what I was thinking. And the girl is not alive. She's actually dead. So I thought it would have been like she survived, or she is alive, maybe, like Novocaine, or like the girl is kind of in on it. Then he gets back to the plane because it's kind of a theme of like he likes to fly, takes off and flies, I think, into the clouds, which is what that says on the tombstone. And then he flies away, and that's it. It's pretty cool though. Not a bad film. Very straightforward. Not John Wick like. And here are some of my favorite moments. The first one is this one. I really liked it. Just again testing Heller if he really is a killer or not. I mean, it gets more intense because then he just really gets him almost to do it, to really test him, and he just can't do it. Very cool scene. Definitely speaks to his morals, to the final scene. This scene is pretty cool also, as Moore and Caleb are trying to decrypt the files. Heller is revealed to be listening in on them. Pretty cool. I definitely like that part. When Director Moore looks for the listening device, I thought that was pretty cool. Pretty smart, I think. Definitely liked it. And then another scene, of course, of him trying to kill this lady. He just can't do it. And he gives up, puts a gun down, decides to leave. These scenes are sad when he imagines Sarah again. And she just walks in the room. There's a few moments like this throughout the film where he imagines her doing something like walking in like this and just laying down. Very sad for him to experience that, and then she leaves or fades away or something. It's just gone. Very sad. This scene is funny too. When he goes into this place to break in, he watches a video of how to pick a lock, which is pretty cool because he knows the basics and he himself is pretty skilled. This scene too, where Heller goes in to get this lady and fills the thing with pollen. He can't kill, he doesn't want to kill her, he's not able to, so he does decide to let her out, and she attacks him and they get in a fight. Pretty intense, I would say. Another scene is this, where he's running from Henderson and he's trying to get as far away as possible, and after a long chase you think that he's outran Henderson, and he doesn't. So he goes to this bar and he turns out that, yeah, he's right behind him. Heller then runs into the bathroom and thinks of a plan that we don't see until later. So he exits the bathroom and goes to talk to Henderson, and then they talk for a bit, back and forth, and then Heller breaks the news that he put something in the bathroom, or like this, like a little bomb or something, and it blows up for him to get another chance to get out of there. Very cool. There's a scene here where Heller is able to show off his skills that he has. He's able to really figure out stuff based off of like few small things. So he's able to like forensics sort of. But he does that for a little bit, and this scene definitely showcases it, and it's pretty cool, I would say. So now this is another cool scene, is when he finds this guy and he goes to the hotel, and this guy rents out this elaborate swimming pool that's on top of this building that goes in between the apartments. I don't know how they designed this. Heller approaches it and eventually kind of like does the same thing to him, kind of blackmails him. So he finally confronts him, and the guy's swimming, and then he reveals to him that he has something that's letting the air pressure out in the tank on that whole pool, which is leading to what you think. So now he actually presses it, and then it begins to crack all over. Pretty cool scene. And this is where I thought it was going to be really violent, and it's not. There's really like no blood. So pretty nice that they did that. They didn't really need to make it so over the top. This seemed kind of cool, where the people are tracking this guy and they're all working together to figure it out, and really good teamwork. This guy's really listening to them. They're throwing out ideas and he's just thinking, and really cool. Really nice dynamic between the characters. Another cool scene that's really kind of sad and nice is this scene right here. She's very lonely, so she wants someone to hang out with in a normal way, you know. Really nice sad scene. When Heller meets with the plug is pretty cool. I like that part. He definitely has him tricked with all of it, and he doesn't suspect anything is going on. And then he opens up this box or the crate, and it triggers a bomb that's gonna go off. Pretty cool. This scene is cool too because he uses AI replacement technology to put his face onto a pedestrian that's walking around, and the people who are tracking him actually fall for it. They say, how is he at that place and time right now? He was just somewhere else that would take hours to get to, back and forth. That was pretty cool. The use of AI face replacement, I like that. And then the final scene, of course, is pretty intense. Really tests Heller. Definitely, it's good that he sticks to his morals, because they could have had him kill this guy and it would have kind of gone against everything. Except it is kind of weird because he has killed people just now. Like he killed 3 people or 4 or something. He's already a murderer, and I thought, well, screw it, you might as well kill this guy. Why couldn't he at least shoot him in the leg? couldn't he like maybe chop off an arm or chop off a hand or something? That would have been a little bit fair, you know? The guy killed his wife. He could have at least taken a leg, taken an arm, taken his writing arm, maybe. The final scene where Heller reveals that he has hacked the boat is pretty awesome. Really shows like what a, like, yeah, like he's not, yeah, he's an amateur, but he himself is pretty smart. And now he's got a little bit of training, so that makes him pretty dangerous, I would say. And then he gets a pretty good revenge, I guess, in a different way. He gets him arrested, so I mean he's alive, and he gets to face the consequences of what he's done. All of them, technically, they're all involved. So that's pretty nice. At least he didn't become a killer in the end. He just got revenge in a different way, got justice in a different way. And the final scene too, where they all get arrested, that's pretty awesome. Definitely deserve it. This is a good one too, because like, oh, of course, I mean, it's Lawrence Fishburne. You're not gonna kill off Lawrence Fishburne. Come on, gotta leave him. Gotta trick the audience with his death. And my last favorite scene is the final plane scene where he flies off into the clouds, just like it's said on the tombstone. Very sad and very emotional. And it's nice that this is not a total action type of a movie. It is kind of more on the emotional side. And now for some things I'd fix in this movie. This part was pretty strange. She tells him that, wow, you must have done something really bad, when he ends up buying all the flowers. And then he says that he's going to, like, that he hasn't done it yet. And like, why would he say that to someone? She's gonna be like, what? And call the police. And I'd maybe fix this part, which is kind of weird. This girl runs out into the street, and he's openly just gonna straight up shoot her in front of everyone, I guess. Which is like, shouldn't he try to be a little bit more... And then he hides it and pretends like he's not whatever, like he's a murderer or something, or has a gun. Everyone just saw him, so I don't know what that meant. Whatever. It's kind of weird. I'd fix that one. This part I'd fix also. They do a little raid on where he's at. They bust in the front door. They don't seem to have the back of the place like covered at all. Like they don't have the back door covered. So they just run away. What kind of these people, like, what kind of plan was that? And this part, I'm sure if I would fix it, but the guy lectures Heller on that he's like maybe just as bad because he murdered all those people already. I'm not entirely sure about that. I mean, it is weird, but I mean, then he does bring up that he's like he gave him a chance to run away and they didn't make it. So I guess maybe that justifies that he's like a semi-murderer, like semi-killer. Like he's like Saw, actually. It's like that, like Jigsaw. Like he gets them to kind of like do it to themselves, even though it is kind of a criminal to be doing it in the first place. And then how did this film look? I think it looked really nice at times. Again, it's not really experimental camera work. The picture is really clear and everything, nice colors and all that, so definitely looks great. How did it sound? It did sound great. I think I heard a little theme song in the movie. Big sounds for sure, and a lot of bassy music, so it definitely uses the surround sound system very well. And my final thoughts for this film are, I thought it was pretty enjoyable. I mean, some spots dragged slightly. They could have used a little bit more editing, I would say. A review mentioned that this could be a show, but I don't think there's that much here. It's just, that's what I was saying, like it could have been cut down to like an hour and 50 minutes or an hour and a half even. I don't think it really needed to go for the full 2 hours, especially a season of this show. I mean, maybe if there was more to it, but this is just a revenge story. This isn't like he's trying to find someone and then he has to like go through find a bunch of people who then get an answer and then all that. So I don't know. I don't think a show would have really worked for this. And then also, I would have thought that the girl in the end would have revealed that she's still alive. It turns out that she, like, I thought that it would have been cool if maybe she had to shake a tail or something, or get rid of somebody who's after her, faked her death, and then at the end it would like reveal that she did that, but it wasn't. So I don't know, but again, though, that wasn't really the point of this. It was more of like, and actually like what would happen if somebody lost their wife and, and this guy is in that position. I did like Heller's I did like that Heller seems to have good morals. The bad guy pressures him into killing him and he can't do it in the end, and he sticks to it. I like that a lot. It was pretty awesome. The argument is always, revenge is like, that you should get revenge and all that. But again, that you're supposed to get justice, whatever, without killing people. And this is the big argument, because if you kill someone, like, you're a killer too, right? Heller mainly wanted to make them feel what his wife Sarah felt, basically. I kept thinking you could at least like chop a limb off, right? Murder is definitely different than amputation, I think. But I thought a missed opportunity would have been that in this film, if it wasn't so serious, that when Heller reveals to them that he led them to finish waters, Heller should have said something like along the lines of like, now you're finished, right? Or like, you started this, now you finish this. And they're in finished waters, and then they all get in trouble. I think that would have been pretty hilarious. Or something maybe like, nice guys finish last. And the guy's like, what? And then all the cops swarm the boat and then arrest them. And then just to reiterate, this movie is 2 hours, 2 minutes. I really thought it could be shorter. 6.5 stars. PG-13. Some scenes technically could have been more violent, but it wasn't. Too long for this type of film. I kept saying that. Very simple, isolated story. No world consequences. Small to the world, but big to Charlie Heller. Rami Malek, Lawrence Fishburne, Rachel Brosnahan, and John Bernthal are all in this movie. $60 million budget. So far, it's made $96 million at the box office. Sad story. His wife dies. He wants revenge. Basically blackmails his superiors into training him. Again, not many twists. Kind of small twists, but overall, like the twist, like like the wife being alive. No big twists like that really in the film. And then of course the normal camera work. It wasn't too experimental film like Tarantino or maybe James Gunn with like whip cam or any of that. It's kind of normal camera work for this type of a movie, because again, it's more for the plot and the character rather than being like a John Wick style film or in Mission Impossible even. So after all that, I say that this film is good. And that wraps up my review of The Amateur. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Comment down below about what you're watching or what you're looking forward to, and I'll see you in my next review.